Hello from Myrtle Beach. Today we are going to show you several parts of Myrtle Beach and also Surfside Beach and Garden City and show you how it looks after Hurricane/Tropical Storm Debby. Hi, I'm Carmen. If you're new here, we cover everything Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back. We're so glad to have you with us. So as you can see, it is still a bit overcast and even a bit drizzly. We're getting just some minor drizzle, but this is the end of Debby. It is 10:11 a.m. and most of the warnings and everything go away right around this time today or by noon. Also, most things, not everything closed by any means, but the things that did close are opening back up today. Some have a delayed opening, and I'll mention the ones that I know about. But life here is going back to normal. I know it's sometimes hard to tell by the weather forecast and that kind of thing, but you can probably see as we're driving here, Myrtle Beach was not hit that hard. We were very fortunate here. We're very grateful for that. And thank you for all of those who reached out to us to wish us safety and wish us well. We greatly appreciate that. We are fine. Our house is fine. So we're very, very grateful for that. But yes, it was not nearly as bad here as it was forecasted to be. Now, don't get me wrong, other areas were hit incredibly hard. South of here was hit very hard. Also, inland had way more rain than we did, and there are some rivers now that are crusting in the lower sort of South Carolina and the PD area, which is inland from here. So there are issues, and the flooding can actually get worse where those rivers are for the next week or so. But here in Myrtle Beach proper, things are looking good. This storm has been incredibly slow, which I'm sure you've seen in the news. The rain started here on Monday, and as you can see, it is still drizzling. And we've had zero sun during that time. We did not get high winds. They were predicting 60-mile-per-hour winds. I think it only got to about 40 something miles per hour winds here. So there is not significant wind damage. I'm not saying there's no wind damage, but we didn't have any wind damage. I have not visually seen any wind damage. Most of the wind was actually yesterday, which was Thursday. If you're watching this the day it came out, you know this is Friday, but if you're watching this in the future, it was Thursday that we had the worst wind. And we were a little concerned because the ground was so saturated, but thankfully I haven't seen any downed trees. Again, I'm not saying no one lost a tree, but I haven't seen any evidence of that or major damage. But as you can see here on Ocean Boulevard, you're getting to see this as we're getting to see this because the weather's been too bad to go out and drive around until today. So you're getting to see this for the first time as well with us. You can see there's not even a lot of debris on the streets. I mean, it looks pretty good. They may have run the street cleaners. In fact, that could be what that is ahead of us. I can't tell. There's something up ahead. But it is looking pretty good, not looking like a lot of debris and stuff like that. So if you're planning a trip to Myrtle Beach, what should you do? If you're coming soon, I would still call your hotel or talk to your Airbnb person or whatever and make sure everything is A-OK. That would especially, yep, there's the street cleaner. That would especially be important if you're staying in North Myrtle Beach, particularly the Cherry Grove area of North Myrtle Beach. They did have some flooding there, flooding in the streets and such. Also, if you are staying in Garden City, or that area, I would also definitely check, but really anywhere here, just check. It's just a quick phone call. Just check and make sure everything is okay and you can check in as expected. I wanted to talk about a few of the places we mentioned that were closed that are now open and when they're opening, because they are not all opening at regular time today. Both of the state parks, the Myrtle Beach State Park and the Huntington Beach State Park, both reopened at 10 a.m. today. It's 10:14 right now, so they are already open. Brook Green Gardens, botanical gardens that are in Murrells Inlet just south of Myrtle Beach are opening at noon today. And also, we have not called them to verify, but the Dead Dog Saloon has a live video stream. If you're not familiar with that, it can be entertaining to watch their nighttime entertainment. They have some good bands sometimes, but in any case, we checked that this morning. It does look like they are open. We could see staff getting the tables ready and that kind of thing. So it does look like they are open again because we'd mentioned the restaurants on Murrells Inlet, some of those had closed. I can't say they're all open now, but I would assume they would open. There's really no reason to. I don't think they had any significant flooding issues. I have not heard of any, didn't see any on the news. We have not been down there personally though, so this is just going by what we have heard. We've been in our house. That's what most people have been doing in this storm, because like yesterday was the high wind day, so that's not a great day to be out and about as far as safety wise, because that's when something can go flying through the air, even though the wind wasn't quite as bad as they predicted. But all we have today is just a lot of gratitude for safety and for lack of damage. It's just we're very, very happy about that. I will say we are very ready to see the sun. If you missed our last video, I will link it in the description below. We did a video during the storm and before the winds got really bad, but during the storm, the day that it hit here, and we mentioned that we had to cut a Florida trip short to come back for this to secure our property. So it rained for a couple of days in Florida before we left, and then it's rained Monday through Friday this week. So it's been like 7 days since we've seen the sunshine. So we are ready for that, but hopefully it'll either be out later today or tomorrow. We are excited about that. Now, people have asked me, what's the weather going to be like if I'm coming in this weekend or if I'm coming next week? They are predicting that, but you can check the weather just as well as I can. This is what they are predicting on the weather, the news. We do watch a local channel. I've mentioned this before. We recommend WMBF. That's just who we watch. I'm not affiliated with them at all. They are predicting that we're going back to typical August weather. And what does that mean? Super hot, super humid, and an occasional thunderstorm. That's just the normal weather here. That's nothing to do with the hurricane. So when you look at the long-range weather forecast, don't be concerned if you see sun with a cloud and a lightning bolt. That is pretty normal weather for here. There's a limb down in the road, so there's a little debris. We had one limb fall in our yard out of a tree, a pretty good size one, but no damage from it. So I mean, that's sort of the extent of what we've been seeing. But don't get really worried when you see those daily, as long as you see a sun, even if you see a little cloud and a lightning bolt on that daily forecast, don't get too concerned about that. That is pretty normal here. It'll usually rain anywhere from an hour or so each day, a thunderstorm. It's usually in the afternoon or evening, and sometimes it's even at night, so it doesn't really affect you unless you're a night owl, like someone who really likes to go out at night. And don't worry, this isn't going to be just a driving video. We're actually going to get out on the boardwalk, and like I said, we're also going to go south of here. So we're going to have multiple parts to this video to show you what things are looking like. But I know a lot of you like to see this area just to see, that things are looking good and normal, and they definitely are. I mean, we're not even seeing pooling rain. What was nice about this storm is the rain that did come came in waves. So we did get some super heavy rain, but it was for a short period. Then we would get like drizzle for a while, then another bout of heavy, and that just gives everything time to drain rather than overwhelming the drain system. So that is always a positive thing, and that's what we are so grateful for. The ocean looks like it's calmed down a bit too. As you can see, we have almost no wind today. We went from high winds to almost no wind. So it's a pleasant day minus the dreariness. Like I said, ready for some sunshine. Right here we do have a light out. There have been power outages, but they've had them restored pretty quickly. We never did lose power, so it's been spotty in places. I think some of the more inland parts of our county is where most of the power outages were, because they were hit harder. It's usually that you think of the coast getting hit the hardest, but this time the inland people have definitely had a much harder time, and our sympathies go out to anyone who is negatively affected by this storm. If you're enjoying this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. That helps other people find our videos. That really helps other people discover our videos on YouTube. Also, if you'd like to learn more about Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area, definitely hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss anything new that we put out. We put out at least one video a week, sometimes more than that. And we're definitely glad you're watching and glad you're with us if you're new here. So this is the main central strip. We're actually going to get out here on the boardwalk and show you some of this from the boardwalk side, but this is the main part of the Ocean Boulevard strip. here in the Grand Strand. So you've got multiple Ripley's attractions, and you can see that you may not be able to see because of the car, but the Ripley's, believe it or not, is open. They have this glass down over that when they're closed. So they're back open again, and all of the Ripley's attractions along here I would expect are also open. I don't think they'd open one and not the others. Looks like all the things around here are open. You've got people walking around, you've got some open signs. So yeah, it looks like things are back to normal. People are going in and out over here of a gift shop, it looks like. Yep, a gift shop. So yeah, it looks like things are getting back to normal, which is awesome to see. It's been a quiet week. Now, a lot of people wrote out the storm here. If you're one of those people, leave it in the comments below and let us know. There's a lot of things to do here in Myrtle Beach that are indoors. In fact, we have a video of what to do if it's raining. If you ever want to find a video on our channel, just search for Carmen and Brian Myrtle Beach, and then put in wherever the topic is. So like raining in that case, or rainy, like a rainy day, and it should come up. And we do have a list of top 10 things to do when it's raining here, but there's plenty of stuff. There's all kinds of indoor entertainment. There's shopping indoors. There are indoor putt-putt even. There's just all kinds of things you can do indoors. So definitely check out that video if you're interested in looking for something to do on a rainy, or if you decide to come visit in the winter, something that you can do in the winter as well. Now, when we drove before, the Olympic Flame Pancake House was actually open the day that the hurricane was going to hit. So they are definitely open. I can see people inside. So yeah, I'm not seeing at this point anything that is closed at this point. There may still be something, so definitely call ahead, but I doubt it. I really doubt. I don't see why they would want to stay closed at this point. Now we're down at the boardwalk as promised to take a look around. Pretty quiet on the boardwalk this morning, but that's to be expected. Like I said, things are just getting going again, and it's a little early. I mean, it's now 10:32. So it's still a little early in the morning. Some things open at 10, but some open at 11. And of course the eateries, most of those don't open till 11 or later. The surf is still a little rougher than usual, but it's definitely not as bad as it was. As I mentioned, we did that other video the day of. You're welcome to go back and watch that. The surf was crazy that day, and it was also raining sideways. It was not a fun day. But yeah, a little quiet this morning, but definitely a few people starting to get out and about, and I would expect all these businesses will be open. Actually, all the lights are on in the Fun Plaza, so it might actually be open because they don't open these big, oh, Brian said they are definitely open. So yeah, things are open back up, back to normal, because I know that's what a lot of you are looking to see. Let's take a walk down now onto the beach and take a look at the beach. I just walked from the boardwalk straight down here, so you can see the water did get pretty high, not as high as the boardwalk, but there's a big, I know it's so hard to tell on video, but there's a huge hump here, like there's a hill right there. So it looks like the water level did get right up to the dunes, but I can't see any evidence that that the water level crested the dunes and got up towards the boardwalk. So that's definitely good. They weren't expecting a huge storm surge. I think they were saying 1 to 3 feet. So that's pretty good. So glad about that as well. The tide is high right now. Looks like I see a double yellow flag. This one's not flying, but further down, I don't know if it'll show up on the video, I do see a double red. What that means is you can still walk on the beach, enjoy the beach, but you are not supposed to swim. Now that doesn't stop people. Now these only have a single flag, so that's kind of confusing, unless their second flag is just tied up. But in any case, yeah, you usually don't want to get into the water with a double red. That means no swimming. Single red just means use caution. There's rip tides and that kind of thing. But I'll be honest with you, we've had a vacation home here for 20 years, and now we've lived here permanently for 2 years. It's mostly a single red flag is typical. We see that on most days here. It's rare to see a yellow flag. But if you're not familiar with our flag system, yellows, be careful, but mostly okay. The purple or blue, people argue over the color, means there's been dangerous marine life spotted. And then, so like a man o' war, a lot of jellyfish or something like that. And then the red flag means, like I said, there's some rip currents or there's something in the water that they have concerns about. And then double red's no swimming. So that's the flag system that they have here. But yeah, the surf's a little up, but nothing like the other day when I came up here. And the beach looks to be in decent shape considering we just had a tropical storm. You know, Debbie started out as a hurricane, but then became a tropical storm by the time it hit here. So this has been, we've actually had just storms that were just storms with no name or anything that were more violent than this one was. This was just so slow moving. That was the big issue, but not super violent. Looks like Mo Moons is in the process of opening back up here on the boardwalk, but you can still see their sandbags. That's what everybody did to prepare for the storm. Now we're back on the Ocean Boulevard side, and you can definitely tell here that there's a lot more stuff open from looking from this side. Here we got the Hi-Fi coffee bars open. You can tell the Ripley's attractions, like I mentioned, are open. There's a couple of other ones. That's one of the indoor golf courses that I mentioned. We do have a video of that if you're interested. But yeah, things are definitely popping on this side. Lots of traffic too. People getting out and about, ready to enjoy, hopefully maybe a little sun later today. We'll see. We are now south of Myrtle Beach in Surfside Beach. It's literally just past Myrtle Beach if you're going south from Ocean Boulevard. Right here is the most central part of Surfside Beach. You've got the Surfside Beach Pier to the left, River City Cafe. You've got several other restaurants here. You've got Pizza Hyena, Gracious Pig, Chimichanga Llama, that is a mouthful, and Bubba's Fish Shack, and Neil and Pam's. So you've also got Scotty's Beach Bar. It's off to the left. You can't see it from here, but it's beachfront. So all kinds of fun stuff right here. So you see some water pooling in the road, but most things here look pretty okay. And Surfside Beach is pretty low-lying. I would say it's definitely a little more low-lying area than Myrtle Beach. So we'll take a little bit more look. There's a bunch of water to my left that was in the parking lot of that place. So you might want to definitely call ahead if you are staying in this area. Like I mentioned, there's some areas here that are a little more prone to flooding than others. Right here we have a bit more standing water over to the left. So yeah, some of the parking, especially in some of the lower-lying places, might be affected here. So again, like I said, call ahead. We get so many questions about whether you should come or not. We can't answer that for you. It really depends on where you're staying and also the condition of the place that you are staying at. So the best thing you can do is just call ahead. That's always our recommendation. But some of these parking lots are lower than the road, and they're actually looking okay. They must have pretty good drainage systems. I'm looking as we go by, and they mostly look okay, so that's definitely good news. We're now getting closer to Garden City, which is just a little further south than Surfside. We're starting to see a little more standing water, especially in parking lots. And Brian was just pointing out while we were on break there that there's no water drainage system from the roads here, so it makes sense that they have more standing water. In other words, there's no proper curbs, there's no grates. They do have some drainage off to the side, but no grates right on the road to handle the water, so it does make a little more sense. But we'll go down here and check the centralmost part area of Garden City. We're now down to the central area of Garden City. Again, quite a bit of standing water, but nothing you can't maneuver around in the roads. The biggest issues we've seen is parking lots that have standing water. Is it enough to hurt your car? Probably not, but I don't know that I'd want to park in several inches of water. Right up here where this stoplight is, that is where the Garden City Pier is. It's also where their restaurants and entertainment, they have a small amount of that is located as well. It's really a nice area. If you're not familiar with the Garden City, it's a pretty relaxed, laid-back area, a little bit different than Myrtle Beach, but still very close to Myrtle Beach so that you can take advantage of all the entertainment there. If you'd like to learn more about Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area, be sure to click on the video on your screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.